Hey everyone. So when we look at novel in an hour, what we're really doing is taking a literature circle and really reducing the amount of reading and essentially work on the back end for a class. So if we review literature circle points, I'm sure everyone does it a little differently. Everyone has different methods for this, but it really comes down to what are the roles you're going to give kids. How are they going to be communicated, modeled, and demonstrated for the novel in an hour or a literature circle? You have to have roles defined. You have to practice each role. There has to be a lot of scaffolding and modeling throughout this. Obviously, you can adjust all these. These are just some examples. Um, and usually, it tends to be similar text, although maybe you have some choice in your classroom and kids can pick from a couple different texts and then work as a group to the literature circle that way. But that's the real beginning of the novel in an hour. So here are some highlights of what a novel in an hour would look like. We take that literature circle, but we break the book down into smaller pieces, or the reading or the novel, whatever you're looking at. Read the first chapter together, introduce it as a class. Everyone kind of gets a taste of what's going on in the story. And then from there, you, almost in a jigsaw fashion, would assign different parts of the book to different groups. I had success with kind of taking my top 10 students that I felt in my class, strongest students, and making them systematically putting them into 10 different groups and then filling in the groups from there. So I felt it really carried the course load forward. And then it's, what do you want them to do? Is there a neglect or need they have? Do they need more work with summarizing, vocabulary building, whatever? But that can be the task they do within this short piece of the book. Maybe you're going to, have them summarize, reciprocal teaching, summarize, ask questions, highlight a passage or a meaningful quote, or maybe it's vocab that's challenging, and then make predictions, right? That's the reciprocal teaching method. Maybe you can use book snaps to do the passage that most resonated with them. Whatever you feel like you need to help support students. In a lot of ways, just get them reading more. This is great for non-traditional classes like science and social studies, where reading sometimes tends to tail off. We can now make it part of the content and support the main content happening, especially at the secondary level. And then what happens at the end is that all the different groups then will make some kind of presentation to the class. Maybe you look at like a 1 minute quick Ignite presentation. But then, it's amazing to see this in action as the kids then hear other kids talk about their piece of the book. The metaphorical light bulb goes off. Oh, that's what happened here. And they start discussing about the characters and they start to piece together, right? So it really has a cliffhanger feel to it. One big word of caution: really trying to limit how many characters are in a novel you choose. It can't get too confusing, which might go array or really confuse kids and kind of turn them off from this. But you really need to support them along the way. And then finally, as a class, you'll read the ending together to kind of bring closure. And, again, my experience, the kids were very excited to do this. We read a book called Hiroshima about World War II, and it really helped support the social studies piece, which I'm a social studies teacher, supported the content along with engaging them in more reading, which is an ultimate goal. So in the next video, I'll talk about different things that I did with my novel in an hour concept and what you might look to do as well.